Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. This is a very unusual place for me to be doing a video because I am in my car right now, but I'm actually waiting at my son's school to get him, and I was just reading some comments, so I thought, I was like, you know what? There is definitely a topic in a couple of these comments that I was reading, and so I wanted to kind of make a video on the difference between our subconscious mind, our conscious mind, critical thinking, or logical thinking, and emotional thinking. So when I talk a lot about self-parenting is basically the process of being emotionally and mentally healthy. It's the process of learning how to go through life, go through experiences, go through challenges, and basically coach ourselves, be our own therapy, how to really learn how to love ourselves through our thoughts, because our thoughts are really everything. If you're depressed, if you're anxious, if you're unmotivated, if you're procrastinating, if you feel like you don't have enough confidence, all of those things have to do with the thoughts that you think. So in order to really get your thoughts in check, where you are the healthiest person you can be, you have to know, number one, where are your wounds? What are the insecurities that you have? What are your triggers? What does your tape sound like? What does your tape sound like? What is your story? Basically, your story is the negative stuff that you tell yourself every single day. Where does that negative stuff come from? Well, maybe it comes from an experience that you had in childhood. Maybe it comes from, so your husband of 25 years left you and emotionally abused you. Sorry, plane's going by. Emotionally abused you through the course of that relationship, and so now you have a lot of insecurities within yourself because this person every day, whether blatantly or under the rug with little jabs here and there, dwindled your self-esteem and your self-confidence until it was so low. So really learning about yourself and your past is so important. Let's get back into our mind. So in our mind, we basically have two sides of our mind. We have our conscious mind and we have our subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is the part of your brain that basically is where all of your programming is. So who you are as a person, your values, your beliefs, your emotions, how you react, memory, long-term memory is stored there. So pretty much 95% of your day-to-day life is controlled by your subconscious mind. That's why you can get into your car and drive to work and not have to consciously think about where you're going, because now you have gone there so many times, and the repetition of going there so many times then created a programming in your subconscious mind that you know how to get there without even logically thinking or consciously thinking. Then we have our conscious mind. Our conscious mind, just to make this very easy and not get into too much like psychology and stuff like that, is basically, we'll just say it's critical thinking. It's where you logically are able to think. So if I say a story to you, I don't think I can climb that tree. And I really, really believe it. So the thought that you have, when you back that thought up with emotion, belief, a feeling, like I said, an emotion, then the thought that you are thinking begins to feel really real, because you had a thought and you backed it up with all of that emotion, and the emotion is what caused the thought to keep pushing it forward to be believable. Now, if you have a thought, and when the thought comes in, instead of going to old programming, your subconscious mind, which will just, again, simple terms, we're just going to be very simple with this, instead of having this thought and going to your subconscious mind and having all of this feeling go into that thought where it becomes believable and you just run with it, if when you had a thought, let's say you could do this with every thought, which is pretty much impossible because we have so many every single day, but if you had a thought and you challenge the thought by logically thinking about this thought, no emotion tied to the thought, just logically, does this thought make sense? You would never attach emotion to it, because a lot of the thoughts that we have are not logical, they're emotional. So because they come from our subconscious mind, they come from programming. So now, if you're going about life, or say, for example, I'll use this example. If you're talking to a friend and he or she is going through an experience, right? Let's just say they're getting divorced and they are having this thought of like, oh God, what if I die alone? Or anyone's talking to you about anything that's going on in their life right now, and they're really struggling with this thought or this fear or this stress or whatever. You're not emotionally in the thought with them. You are on the outside looking in. So you don't have any emotion to what's going on with this thought, what's going on in their mind, because you're not living the thought like how they are. That's why when we hear someone tell a story, we can logically give them advice and say, well, that doesn't make sense because blah, 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 because we're not emotionally in it. So a lot of mental health and learning how to be mentally healthy and emotionally healthy is learning how your thoughts work and not attaching emotion to every single thought that you have. That is a practice, that is a skill that you must learn in order to start detaching from thoughts so you can begin reprogramming the negative self-talk, the garbage that you tell yourself day in and day out. Because a lot of the fears that you have, a lot of the stress that you carry with yourself, if you were not emotionally in it and were able to take a step back, you would realize that a lot of the stuff that we dwell on, think about, stress about, fear is very not logical, right? And 9 times out of 10 is probably not going to happen. So when you start to kind of approach your mind from that angle, you begin to practice the process of self-parenting. And this process, which I like to call self-parenting or life skills, or either of those things work, is a process because there's layers to this. It's not just, okay, I'm going to see a thought and okay, I can logically think and not use any emotion. That's kind of hard to do because you're human, you have an ego, and you do have wounds. The more you practice self-awareness, the more you practice being mindful of your thoughts, the more you practice detaching from thoughts and challenging thoughts, you begin to reprogram your mind because you're becoming more conscious every single day versus just living life. And when people say, well, this person's very unconscious, they're very unaware, they're going on autopilot, that's because majority of our day, our minds, our lives are controlled by our subconscious programming. So in order to really change that, you have to start by first challenging your thoughts. Challenging your thoughts, detaching from thoughts, and using more logical thinking. So emotional thinking, I think we all know what that looks like. It's, oh my God, what if? Oh my God, no fear. Oh my God, is this true? What if this? What if, like, there's all emotion that's attached to that. The what ifs, the oh no, the what if this happens? What if they don't like me? What are people going to think? All of that stuff, that's an emotional kind of thought. A logical thought is more of a knowing, of a fact, of, I don't want to say even a fact because we don't know if someone's going to like us. But it's more of a confident knowing than an emotional thought that we're thinking. And like I said, the emotional thought is more of that what if. So I hope that kind of has helped you understand the difference between your mind, the way you think, and really start understanding the process of self-parenting, really understanding the process of, okay, I need to learn how to take care of myself every single day. That's why I always say you need to wake up every single day and ask yourself, how do I feel? What do I need in this moment? What do I need today? Because every single day is going to be completely different on what you need, what you're going through, how you're feeling. The more you have inner conversations with yourself, the more you stay connected to yourself, the more you know what is really going on, the more you take responsibility for everything that you feel, regardless of what someone does to you, allows you to really start healing and really start programming. So I hope you have enjoyed this. If you guys are new to my channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below. I typically don't do videos in my car like this, but very impromptu video, and I'm actually glad I did it. Don't forget to also give this video a thumbs up down below. That is so helpful. And please, please, please keep the comments coming. I love hearing from you guys. If you are not following me on social media as well, I will link my Instagram here as well as any information you would like on private coaching is listed down below. And I will see you next week.